Hey guys, this is Arabella, and she is going to be the main star of the Working with Arabian series. She is going to be here for the 8-week boot camp, and for some reason, I guess I accidentally deleted her first day video, and I have a quick clip, couple quick clips that did save, but the rest of the video isn't there, so I couldn't really show you what she first started like. But she came here very aggressive, very in your face, very much you're gonna move your feet, not me kind of attitude. Very sensitive around her flank area, and she actually tried to kick me on day one, so I'll go ahead and show that video right here. So she's just very unpredictable. She would, first 1 minute she'll be sitting there and she'll be calm as can be, and then all of a sudden she just thinks that she can do something and she'll just go at you and bite you. She tried jumping around pen the first time I put her in there. She climbed it, wasn't successful with it, but she's just all around typical crazy Arabian. That people would call, like what most people are like, oh, I don't want this breed because they're crazy. So this is really the main horse that you kind of see when working with Arabians, and a lot of trainers don't like them because they don't know how to work with them. They think that all you have to do is just run, 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 and get the horse tired and jump on them and go, rather than actually making them use their thinking side of the brain. Now, Arabians get excited when you say to run. When you say, yeah, we're going to go run 10 miles, they're like, oh, yippee, when we start. If you were to tell, like, a lazier pony or something, we're going to go run 10 miles, they're going to say, screw you, and they're going to say, no, I don't want to. So they kind of shut down more. So with Arabella, you'll see that we do lots of changes of direction. We keep her feet moving. We let her think. We really exaggerate on desensitizing because Arabians are so sensitive. They notice every little thing, every new thing, and they're kind of like Mustangs. You just barely pick up a finger that you never picked up before, and they're going to snort and fart and take off running because they're like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that finger before. They're just that more sensitive. So she's a good example of kind of what you do when working with Arabians. So we'll go ahead and get started here. So I like to do a lot of desensitizing and really just throwing things at her, especially since she is reactive. You can see a lot in this video. There's no flies. It's winter, so there should be no reason that she's swishing her tail. She's doing that because she has attitude and sass. She's basically saying, screw you, I don't want to be here, kind of attitude. So I want you to kind of note that and kind of see as we progress with her videos how she gets calmer and starts thinking more, not so reactive. Right here, she's relaxed. Her head's lowered down. Typical Arabians have their heads way up high, and their tails up. And so right here, she's lowered her lips. She's licking and chewing. Her ears are listening. She's not moving around. So really good, nice and calm and thinking. So as noted before, she's very pushy. She's very much so, I'm going to make you move your feet rather than you make me move my feet kind of attitude. So my favorite exercise is moving her forequarters over as shown here. So this makes them actually move out of my way while I'm walking towards them. This is probably, I think this is day one. Yeah, this is probably day one. I'm trying to get all the videos together. So I'm just going to ask for one step. So you can see she's very much being pushy. She doesn't like to do it. As soon as she crosses that front foot over, I reward it. So your ultimate goal is to have a pivot foot in the back and have her cross her front 2 feet over in front of each other. So I don't want it to be behind it. I don't want it to be side to side. I want her to actually cross over her legs. This kind of throws her off balance and really pushes her out of my way. So you can see right there, she's just pushing her head. She's not moving her body, and she's throwing that shoulder into me. So the more I work on this exercise with her, the better she'll get. And it's really important that you don't just start throwing in more and more steps on the first, second, and third day. Typically it takes a horse 3 days to master an exercise and really get the fundamentals on it. So yeah, I'll add another step the next day, and I'll add another step the third day, but I'm not going to just say, okay, you got 1 step, now let's jump to 5 steps, and all in 1 day. I'm going to work my way up to it so the horse isn't overwhelmed, the horse is understanding it, and really getting that pivot foot down. So right here I wanted to show you this video because this is kind of typical when you're first training a horse how to move their move their forequarters over. They take that first step behind the leg rather than over. I'm just going to keep asking her, and then you saw she stepped over in front of her. So that's kind of what I'm looking for with the forequarters. Right here, I wanted to show this because this is a lot of mistakes that a lot of people make, and I wanted to show that it's not just you that does it. I was standing too far forward when asking her to yield her forequarters, and she was able to lift her head up and go behind me to where I was now on the other side. Don't let that frustrate you. It just means that you need to take a step further back next to her and just keep going. But just act like it never happened. Go back in your place and just keep asking her to move your feet. Because if you were to stop and get frustrated or anything like that, stopping, you're releasing that pressure. So she didn't really learn anything from that other than throwing her head up and getting you on the other side. She won. So as shown in the video with Baylor, I wanted to show you the levels of backing that I basically do. So I start off by leaning forward and tapping the air. Then I get a little harder, then a little harder, then a little harder, then a little harder, and keep going. Now she's very big about going sideways and lunging, so I just keep asking until she goes straight back up. Now, a lot of horses will kick out their butt, either the left or the right, and the way to fix that is to actually get them on the fence and back them that way so that they run into the fence when they try to turn their butts. So you'll kind of see me do that here with Arabella. And as you notice at the end of that video, she had kept moving her feet. That's really typical for an Arabian. They like to go, 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 go. So rather than thinking she's just reacting and saying, where are we going next, where are we going next, over time that's going to get better. So what I'll do is I just kind of bump on her lead rope, say no, I might throw in desensitizing. That's where you really have to be good about throwing in that desensitizing. And you basically have a 15-second window after moving her feet to throw that desensitizing in. So there she's kicking her butt out. I'm just going to yield her. And we're just going to ask for it again. Now this is what I mean on really good energy. She's listening to me, her ears are perked forward, she's moving her feet as soon as I ask her with energy. She's not dragging it like Baylor was. She's not saying, oh God, I gotta move my feet. So that's kind of what you want to look for. This is really good for day one. At the end of each training lesson, I always tie my horses up to a tree to where they can move around, and they stand there for at least 10 minutes. This lets them think about their previous lesson. It allows them to learn to be tied. It allows them to understand that moving around is not going to get them anywhere. And if I were to go and untie them, if I was to walk towards them and they start moving again, then I just leave them there. If they're going to be tied for 30 minutes or more, that's when I'll go get some water for them, a bucket of water, and attach it to that tree. So that's what that white rope's for, is the bucket of water. So you just leave them be, let them pull back if they want to pull back, and gets them to where they're having to think about the lesson. A lot of people, they finish them and they just let them go loose in the pasture, and they're back to their buddies. They get to go eat, and you're basically just teaching them when you're done, when you get to choose when you're done, and that's when horses start getting really pushy and naggy when they want to be done. If they know that at the end of the lesson they're going to be tied to a tree, they're not going to their buddies, they're going to be paying attention more, and it really allows them to reflect more and think about what they just learned, rather than, hey, I'm with my buddies, let's go play and forget all about what we just did.